Morning.
My name is Darrell. We're going to be going over PPE, personal protective equipment. What we're going to do is we're going to have a slideshow, we're going to have a test, and we're going to have some practical skills. First, get you to sign in, please. Got one. There you go. You got one? While you guys are doing that, we have exits right behind you on the back wall there, and to your guys' left, and then restrooms are right here to your right. You guys ready to get started?
Yes.
Alright. Alright, learning lesson objectives. We're going to describe the inspection, cleaning, and maintenance of PPE, describe conditions that require the use of respiratory protection equipment, identify SCBA components, describe SCBA limitations, explain the process of inspecting and cleaning SCBA, describe safety considerations for working in and exiting a hazardous atmosphere while wearing an SCBA, and then the skill sheets we will get finished is routine SCBA inspection and SCBA cleaning procedures. Objective 1. Describe the inspection, cleaning, and maintenance of PPE. Preparation of PPE for reuse. PPE can cause illness or injury if not properly maintained. Hydrocarbon contamination reduces fire resistance. Chemicals, oils, petroleum products on outer shell can ignite. Contaminants can reduce effectiveness of retroreflective trim. Hydrocarbons, body fluids, toxins that contaminate PPE can inhale, ingest, and absorb. And you are responsible for the inspection, cleaning, and condition of your PPE. Procedure of care on your PPE is on your department's SOPs and NFPA 1851. Inspection of PPE for damage or contamination. Fully inspect PPE at the start of the shift, after each use, and after washing, repair, or decontamination, and then on a periodic basis. Conditions to look for during routine inspection: soiling, contamination, missing or damaged hardware, and closure system, physical damage, rips, tears, fraying, cuffs, damage to stitching, thermal damage, if you have any charring or burn holes or anything like that, shrinkage, damage or missing retroreflective trim. Conditions to look for during routine inspection: loss of reflectivity of shell on proximity equipment, cracks, melting, abrasions, dents in helmet shell, missing or damaged face shield or hardware, missing or damaged ear flaps or neck shroud, loss of watertight integrity in footwear, damage to or faulty installation of DRD, date of manufacturer determined, date and service. Inspection of PPE for damage or contamination: be routine cleaning performed by yourself, advanced cleaning, decontamination, repairs or replacement, Report to your supervisor. Annual inspection performed by a department member who was trained in advanced inspection. Only personnel trained or certified to repair PPE should be allowed to conduct repairs. So that means if you are not certified, don't try to repair it. Cleaning PPE, you have routine, advanced, specialized, and contract. So routine would be just us cleaning it. Advanced would be like a gear extractor. Specialized, you'd have to have somebody, specialized in cleaning to clean. And then contract would be a contract down. Do not wash contaminated protective clothing in washing machines used for other garments or items such as your home washing machine or a public laundry. This may expose you or your family or others to dangerous contaminants. Do not take contaminated protective clothing into living or sleeping quarters of the fire station or your residence. PPE should not be stored where it can come in contact with vehicle exhaust. PPE that is carried in personal vehicles should be placed in closable garment bags to protect it from sunlight degradation. Repairing PPE must be done by manufacturer, approved repair facility, or trained department member. Clothing damaged beyond repair must be removed from service and destroyed. Some damaged clothing may be used for training that does not involve fire. So if you have gear that's out of date or damaged, you can put it on a dummy to simulate for a grit. So what can occur if PPE is not properly inspected, cleaned, and maintained?
You can get burnt, hurt, whatever.
Expose yourself to contaminants.
Yeah, oil's not gonna be flammable. Yep.
Objective 2, describe conditions that require the use of respiratory protection equipment. Inhalation of smoke and products of combustion. Short and long-term or fatal health hazards. Respiratory protection, most effective way to protect health. SCBA is required by NFPA 1001 and should be used in any IDLH environment and during overhaul. Types of respiratory protection equipment. Atmosphere supplying respirators, which is also known as ASRs, provide breathable air in oxygen deficient, toxic or gas filled atmospheres. Primary type use in fire service. APRs, air purifying respirators. Here, what we commonly know, just surgical mask. It'll be like an N95 there. A lot of paint people will have something like that. Respiratory hazard, common in IDLH situations. Oxygen deficiency, elevated temperatures, particulate contaminants, gases and vapors, and airborne pathogens. Don appropriate level of PPE and respiratory protection before entering potential IDLH structure or area. Oxygen deficiency, normal 19.5, 15 to 19, your ability to perform strenuous work decreases, coordination is impaired. 10 to 12, dizziness, headache, and rapid fatigue. 8 to 10, you're going to go unconscious, blueness of lips, nausea, vomiting. 8% exposure for 8 minutes is fatal. So only 8% of oxygen for 8 minutes is fatal. And then 6%, 40 seconds is all you can last. Elevated temperatures, Breathing air heated to flame temperatures can have serious consequences. Decrease in blood pressure and failure of the circulatory system, and pulmonary edema and asphyxiation. Introducing fresh, cool air will not immediately reverse tissue damage, and prompt medical treatment is required. Inhaling air that has been heated to flame temperatures can cause serious injury or death. So pretty much, if you do not have an SCBA on and you inhale, you're gonna burn your esophagus and your lungs. Particulate contaminants, harmful to the respiratory system, asthma, lung cancer, cardiovascular disease, COPD, premature death. Protection from contaminants, APR and PAPRs. Sources of particulates, chemical reactions, combustion, wildland fires, welding and metal cutting operations, operations of fire apparatus, operations following an explosion or a building collapse, structure fires, especially during overhaul. Why do you think during overhaul?
Because you're stirring up stuff.
Yeah, you're breaking up the ceiling.
Yep. You open stuff over. So,
Gases and vapors. Gases exudate at standard temperature and pressure. Example, natural gas. Vapors, they result from temperature or pressure changes that affect a solid or a liquid. Steam would be a vapor. Inhalation, ingestion, and absorption can cause cancer, thyroid damage, eye irritation, cardiovascular disease, and respiratory problems. What we're going to commonly run into is going to be carbon monoxide, CO, carbon dioxide, hydrogen cyanide, HCN, hydrogen chloride, hydrogen sulfide, nitrous gases, phosgene, sulfur dioxide, ammonia, and formaldehyde. Firefighters must use SCBA when operating in or near toxic atmospheres. Respiratory hazard remains during overhaul. Hazards from smoke increase as size of particulates decrease. Hazardous concentrations may be present outside the structure. Non-fire gases and vapors. Hazmat incidents can produce potentially hazardous gas and vapors. Always remain at a safe distance uphill, upwind, upstream until completion of risk analysis. Always consider atmosphere at hazmat incidents to be dangerous. Always wear SCBA until air monitoring demonstrates that it is safe. Hazardous non-fire gases and vapors are always a possibility at transportation incidents and in storage and manufacturing facilities. Why do you think gas and vapors on transportation incidents? What's a big one? Be like UPS trucks, because don't know exactly what they're hauling. Common types and their locations: carbon dioxide would be fire suppression systems, ammonia, air conditioning, cooling, chilling systems, agricultural applications, sulfur dioxide, air conditioning, cooling systems, chlorine, water treatment facilities, water parks, swimming pools, and pesticides, commercial outlets, farms, nurseries, and residents. Other locations: sewers, storm drains, caves, trenches, storage tanks, tank cars, bins, and other confined spaces. Airborne pathogens. Disease-causing microorganisms suspend in air, causing infection through inhalation or direct contact. Encountered during medical response, vehicle extrication, rescue and recovery, and terrorist attacks. Protection include ATPA, HIPAA filters, APR, PAPRs, and SCBA. In what type of condition would the use of respiratory protection be necessary?
Confined spaces.
IDLH situations.
Okay, what else?
Hazmat, storm drains,
What was one that we did a few years ago? Medical calls, COVID,
yeah.
had to have a mask,
yeah.
gown, everything. Why must firefighters always wear respiratory protection that is appropriate to the situation at hand?
Protect themselves.
Okay. Can't take an APR into a structure fire.
No.
So,
Gotta choose the right one.
Guess you could.
Objective 3, identify SCBA components. So you have an open circuit SCBA and a closed circuit SCBA. What do we normally use, or what do we use?
Open.
Open. So you're gonna have your face piece, your regulator, bypass valve, high pressure hose, your RIC or RIT line, buddy breathing system, your cylinder valve, and then your actual cylinder. And then closed, your face piece, exhalation hose, inhalation hose, breathing chamber, your CO2 filtration canister, an O2 ejection line. It's going to be like a backpack, and then it does have a little bitty bottle of oxygen in it. Pretty much same thing on your SCBA, your shoulder straps, pass device, pressure gauge, hose, regulator, your waist straps, low pressure alarm, and then your SCBA ball. SCBA may also have a number of other components unique to that manufacturer's design. Some will have your buddy breathing system, your hose already attached.
Different voice sample.
Yeah, like this MSA G1, it's got the voice amp. Some have the buddy breathing system connection right here.
Some of the Scots, the mask, the symbols from the.
Yeah, the Scott, yeah.
It's kind of.
On your high pressure hose, it'll.
Yeah.
So,
Some of the new Scots have the, quick connects for.
oh, on your bottle?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we got that, I mean.
Yeah.
It was up to your, like, where you want to pick, you know.
Breathing air cylinder capacities. Back in the day, the 2216s, the 30-minute ones, was common. The most common one now is going to be a 45-minute, 4,500 pound or 4,500 psi. 45-minute on a 3,000 psi, then a 30-minute on 4,500, and then a 60-minute on 4,500. So I want to see somebody get a full 60 minutes. The air cylinder assembly. Cylinder contains breathing air under pressure, constructed out of steel, aluminum wrapped in fiberglass or Kevlar carbon composite. Cylinders weigh anywhere from 8 to 20 pounds. You're going to have your stem, your threaded stem, like we said earlier. The quick connect, it'll have like a little quick connect nipple sticking out of there. And then you have your control valve handle, and then your pressure gauge. And then this little bracket right here is what it snaps into the backpack, the SCBA. Right. Regulator assembly, depending on SCBA model, the regulators will have valves for normal and emergency operations, main line, and your bypass. So, shoulder harness, your face piece, That's gonna be your bypass, that little red knob there. I'm not familiar with this one, but I'm assuming that red valve is going to be your bypass also. Same thing on that.
They were old school. man.
On your face piece, you have your nose cup. That's what your nose rides in. Exhalation, speaking, diaphragm here. Then your regulator will click in here. Then you have your frame and lens. And then your straps and your headphones. Need to get fit tested, required. Facial hair that prevents a complete seal is prohibited. Eyeglasses are prohibited if the side frames pass through the seal area. Contact lenses are allowed if firefighter demonstrates successfully long-term use. You have glasses on? Do you have to take your glasses off when you put your mask on?
Yep.
Okay. Additional SCBA components, remote pressure gauge. Your remote pressure gauge, a lot of times is gonna have your pass built into it. Your heads-up display, end of life or end of service time indicator. And then this was the nipple I was talking about for your belly breathing. Low pressure readings may not match the regulator gauge. Always assume that the lower of the two numbers is correct. So if this says your regulator, this says it's 4,200, but this says it's 3,000, you know, you need to go off of this, your lowest number. And then once you get out of the situation, you need to check that back. Additional SCBA components. It's actually gonna be your heads up now. Your EEBSS, your emergency escape breathing support system. A lot of people call it the buddy breathing system. Integrated pass control module, LED or alert lighting systems, and voice communication system. So this will have a heads up. G1 has a heads up built into this and the regulator, your voice amp, and then your pass, and then your EEBSS. List of components found on an open circuit SCBA.
Regulator.
Pressure gauge,
Back plate,
rubric.
Well, where?
thermometer, camera trick.
Yeah.
Heads up display. Steam.
Objective 4, describe SCBA limitations. The protection limitations, wear limitations is going to be lack of physical condition, lack of agility, impaired balance, inadequate pulmonary capacity, weakened cardiovascular ability, physiological limitations, and then unique facial features. Offsetting wearing limitations, going to be training, medical evaluations, and proper fit tests. Equipment limitations, it's going to limit your visibility, decreased ability to communicate, decreased endurance, decreased mobility.
Jeez, jolly lame. Lethargic. Hit his head.
We're gonna pause for a emergency call. Okay, we're back from our emergency call. We're looking at around the 29-minute mark.
Alright, So SCBA protection limitations. Limited visibility, decreased ability to communicate, decreased endurance, decreased mobility, poor condition of apparatus, and low cylinder air pressure. Overcoming equipment limitations, frequent and proper inspections, care and maintenance, and then training. What are some ways to overcome SCBA limitations?
Practice.
Frequent maintenance, inspections.
Working out more.
Better shape?
Lung capacity.
Quit vaping.
What steps can you take to decrease SCBA wear limitations and to increase your proficiency while wearing SCBA?
Practice.
Practice.
Quit vaping.
Be healthier.
Yep. Objective 5, explain the process of inspecting and cleaning SCBA. Inspection and maintenance of SCBA. Department schedule determines frequency of inspection. Inspections typically performed daily, weekly, or whenever firefighters report for duty. Period between inspections must not exceed 1 week and must be inspected by SCBA repair technician annually and after any repairs. Inspection and care. Clean and inspect SCBA after each use, at the start of every duty shift, and every week. Repairs, report needed repairs immediately. Extensive repairs and cleaning may require a unit to be taken out of service and replaced. Daily, weekly inspections, the face piece, backplate harness assembly, breathe-in air cylinder assembly, hoses, low pressure alarm, regulator, pressure indicator gauges, and integrated pass. Identify wear and tear, damage, and potential problems before they result in failure during an emergency. Should be documented to report findings, report problems, and show trends. Why would we want to document?
So
case
something happened, you know.
If it keeps happening.
Yeah.
Well, and
So,
if somebody
identify
got an
problems.
accident, and it was back, yeah. You say that we knew it was broke, or they knew it was broke.
During the inspection, the inspector should check the hydrostatic test date label on the air cylinder to see if the cylinder is due for hydrostatic testing to check for flaws and leaks. SCBA care, clean and sanitize face piece and seal after each use. Ensure proper operation of the exhalation valve. Then dry face piece with a lint-free cloth or air dry it. Do not submerge regulators or low pressure hoses in water. Anti-fogging chemicals can be applied. Clean face pieces after each use, even if they are not shared. Store face piece in case, bag, or coat pocket with straps fully extended. Annual SCBA inspection and maintenance must be performed by specially trained factory qualified technicians according to manufacturer's recommendations, and then fire department personnel, and then certified maintenance contractors. When should SCBA inspections take place?
Daily, weekly,
Latest 1 week.
or prior to shift.
After each use.
Objective 6, describe safety considerations for working in and exiting a hazardous atmosphere while wearing SCBA. Safety concerns while wearing SCBA: exposure to airborne hazards, fatigue, regulating air supply, and improper exit procedures. Safety precautions: only enter IDLH atmosphere if you are certified to wear SCBA and probably fit tested. Closely monitor how you feel. If you become fatigued, notify your supervisor and rest. Air supply duration can vary depending on air cylinder size and beginning pressure, your physical conditioning, task being performed, your level of training, operations environment, level of stress, and air management techniques. Before entering IDLH atmosphere, check cylinder pressure and estimate point of no return. Establish a personal baseline for air usage. After entering IDLH atmosphere, keep SCBA on and activated until you leave the contained area. Improved visibility does not ensure area is free of contamination. Before you remove SCBA, the atmosphere must be tested and found safe. Work in teams of 2 or more in IDLH atmosphere. Remain in physical, voice, or visual contact. Radio contact is not not good enough. Sufficient, sorry. A thermal imager can help maintain contact, check air supply status frequently. So if you go in a team of 2, when you decide to go out,
Whoever has lowest ball.
lowest air pressure. Exit IDLH atmosphere before the low air alarm activates. Radio contact is not sufficient communication between team members in any IDLH atmosphere. Exit indicators, always be prepared to make a rapid exit or withdrawal. Non-emergency exit indicators and then emergency exit indicators. Situation is stabilized for a non-emergency exit indicator, change in operational strategy, necessary to replace an air cylinder, IC orders a non-emergency withdrawal, and assignment is complete. Emergency exit indicators, SCBA failure, activation of an SCBA low pressure air alarm, withdrawal orders issued by IC or safety officer, changes in environment conditions, changes in oxygen level, and indications of new hazard. So what would be an indication of a new hazard?
Roof collapse.
Roof collapse.
Fall through the core. Model or your SCBA malfunction.
Environment monitoring, IC is responsible for constant monitoring. When potential hazard is revealed, IC issues orders to change, required respiratory protection, or withdraw completely. Oxygen deficiency, report symptoms and evacuate area immediately. Lightheadedness, disorientation, loss of coordination, increased breathing rate, and rapid fatigue. Non-emergency exit techniques, your buddy system, 2 in, 2 out, controlled breathing, and egress paths. List 5 emergency exit indicators that would signal the need to exit a hazardous environment. List 5 emergency exit indicators that would signal the need to exit a hazardous environment.
SCBA failure, safety officer, incident change.
Change in environment.
Velocity of smoke.
Okay, and what are 3 non-emergency exit techniques that firefighters should know and practice?
The buddy system, living together.
I see. So to come out.
Air horns.
You are performing search and rescue at a structure fire, and you see a person in need of rescue in the next room. The incident commander calls for emergency evacuation before you can reach them. What do you do in this situation?
You tell command where you found the person that needs rescue, and if I send somebody else to rescue, or ask if you can continue to rescue.
But wouldn't there be, if he's calling for emergency evacuation? That'd be, that'd be a tough one.
It would be tight for me, but
Yeah,
I don't know what they both want you to say.
Relay the information that you have a victim or person.
yeah, I found a victim next room over, I can get to him. I see somebody say, hey, you got 2 minutes. Or, X amount of time, so. Cause your IC should be, if it's an emergency exit, your IC or your safety officer should be telling you to get out before, when conditions are starting to, so. Summary, students should be able to describe and explain inspection, cleaning, and maintenance of PPE, identify SCBA components, describe SCBA limitations, describe safety considerations for working in and exiting a hazardous atmosphere while wearing SCBA. Is there any questions about this content?
Did it say about the life expectancy of all of them, or is that, I didn't say that?
No, that was, it's in that chapter, but it's not part of. Okay. All right, you guys ready for a test?
No.
Alright, it's gonna be a 10-question test. Once you guys get finished, just step outside, please. Brandon?
What one did I need? Okay.
So the next one.
Who?
I don't know.
Okay. Next.
Missed one, 90%. Same login. Missed one, 90%.
6.
Yep. If you wanna send them in,
Yeah.
you can bring them in.
Well, how is it? It should be the regulator. Is it not?
Should.
Huh?
It should.
Come on. No.
Alright. You guys ready for the skills? Yeah. Everybody do good on test. Okay. Skill sheet number 10. Routine SCBA inspection. Skill objectives: the student shall perform an inspection of SCBA unit as if it were a daily or routinely scheduled inspection. The student shall use any SCBA units available at the fire department. Got one right up here. Student shall demonstrate daily and periodic inspection, cleaning, and sanitizing of the unit to ensure the SCBA is ready for use. Alright, items to be checked. Checks all components for cleanliness, physical, thermal, and chemical damage. Ensure the air cylinder has full pressure, approximately 90% of the cylinder capacity. Checks hydrostatic test date and verbalizes it when it is due to be tested. Turn the cylinder valve on fully and verify pressure readings on the tank and the regulator gauges are within 100 psi. Dons the facepiece and checks the facepiece seal, and checks the exhalation valve, attaches the regulator into the facepiece and ensure the mainline valve fully open, checks for proper operation of heads-up display, checks all hose connections are tight and free of leaks, checks for adequate comfortable airflow. If changing cylinder on a firefighter, states the amount of cylinder gauge to the firefighter. Operates bypass valve operation. Checks operation of pass device. Turns unit off and bleeds the high pressure hose slowly. Checks for operation of low pressure alarm when bleeding the airline. Then returns all straps, valves, and components back to ready state. You want me to demonstrate it for you guys? Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, first, we're gonna check, make sure that everything is clean. And then bottle's got full pressure, we're 4,500, which this bottle's 4,500 bottle. Checks the hydrostatic test date, which is on the other side of this. Right here. 11 to 22. Okay. do believe these are 5 years on hydrostatic test date. Okay. Turn the ball on slowly. Okay, I'm at 4485, pretty much within 100 psi. Okay, then I'll don our face piece. We're gonna check seal and then exhalation valve. Okay. We're gonna attach the regulator. Checks for proper air operation of heads up, which it's working good. Free of leaks. It's adequate. Bypass works. And then we're gonna let the pass device go off. Really?
That one is shaking.
Okay. And then we'll turn it off. Then we want to bleed it off slowly. So now we know that the low air alarm turns back off. And then always, anytime you take one off, turn the straps all the way out. So, any questions? Okay. Alright, what I'll have is one of you guys want to go first and the other two will step outside. Okay.
Slim, slow.
Can you read over that again?
Alright, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna check, make sure everything's clean.
Okay.
Before you do anything. Make sure the, straps are not frayed. seal.
Installation.
Air close good.
Okay.
Bypass works. Making sure there's no leaks. Everything's good. Check the heads up display.
Okay. Did you check your pass device?
That's what I'm waiting on it to go over it. But it did the same thing. I just shook it.
Yeah.
Alright, it's good. Then we shut off the bottle. I'm gonna drain it slowly so I can listen for the low pressure one. Low pressure one worked. Turn it off, make sure everything's shut. Make sure all the straps are all let back down. Make sure it's back in the ready position.
You want some more of the other guy?
Yep, next victim.
You wanna look over this? You good?
That should be good.
Okay.
So for this EVA inspections is checking for any physical, thermal, or chemical issues. So you go through all the straps, I always pull them all the way out, verify they're good. Make sure it's correct to go. Verify by pressure, it shows it's roughly about 4,400, 4,500. Once you turn it on, I'll verify off of the gauge where it reads at, and it reads roughly the same, about 44, 4,500. And operate from there. I'll let the pass device first go off while I check my mask. So, on my mask.
Checking face seal. That's good, and checking installation. Everything's good on that side. Pass device works perfect. So from there, I'll hook in. Breath comes in smoothly, no issues. Good disconnect.
Did you check your bypass?
Let's see. And then, I'll go ahead and turn off the bottle, and I'll check the bypass, verifying it works. And in that process, I'll also check to verify that the low air alarm works as well.
Okay.
And then I'll do a final test of actually setting off the pass device. And then do from there. And then just like I checked beforehand, make sure the straps are fully out, once I put it back up.
Would you test or check your hydrostatic test? Or
Yep. On the bottom each time, you check your hydrostatic gate, come back. Make sure it's within realm. So for these balls, I believe it'd be a 5-year time period. And reading 11/22, so it's good for another 3 years. Good.
So you want to send the other gentleman in? Yeah.
You ready for me?
Yes, sir. You need to look over that?
I think I got it. We'll about to find out if I did. Okay. I'm gonna check all the harnesses, see if frayed, damaged, or whatever. Just look at the backing plate. We'll look at the threads. 11/22. We'll look at the gauges, see if they're within 100 pounds each other. And they are.
Check my valve, X-leak valve.
Let this down slowly. We're returning all the straps which I didn't put on, but we return them all out.
That it?
Yep. Do we tell them to come back here?
Yeah.
You guys come back in here?
Okay. We're gonna take a 10-minute break. Okay. Number 12, SCBA cleaning procedures. Skill objectives. The student shall demonstrate the proper procedures for cleaning the parts of the self-contained breathing apparatus. The student shall use any SCBA units available to that fire department. SCBA drive group. Skill instructions. The student shall demonstrate cleaning the parts of an SCBA unit. Items to be checked. Disassembles all components of the SCBA. Cleans the face piece with a mild cleaner and rinses completely. Applies an approved disinfectant to the face piece and rinses completely. Dries with lint-free cloth or air dries components. Cleans and completely rinses the pressure hoses. Thoroughly cleans and rinses the cylinder. And cleans the harness assembly according to manufacturer specifications. Any questions?
You gotta demonstrate this.
Yeah, I'll demonstrate. Okay, so, take the bottom, clean it, set it up to air dry. Clean it with mild detergent, warm water, mild detergent. Do not submerge the regulator. Make sure it's clear of all debris. And we're gonna hang it up to let it dry. And then, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to clean this with warm water. And I let mine air dry. Okay. Any questions? Okay.
I'll go first.
You wanna go first? Okay.
Begin by taking the ball.
Sure.
I clean this with mild detergent.
Okay.
Soak the water. Okay. Clean all the harness with mild detergent to our manufacturer's recommendations. Then, same thing with this, probably not submerge the regulator. If I got it clean, I would take the whole pack, hang it up, let it air dry. Then, do the same basically with my mask, I would clean it, with mild detergent. And then wipe the face piece with a lint-free rag, then hang it up to dry.
Yep.
Oh, and a disinfectant on the Good. You mom, you'll give. I send the next one in.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'll get it. You wanna look at it?
First thing I'm gonna do is, while I'm taking it apart, I'm gonna go ahead and inspect it and make sure everything.
Okay.
The straps are all not frayed. Look at the,
Okay, camera overheated, so we are back. And we are at around that minute, or excuse me, an hour 25-minute mark.
Once I get that all done, I'm gonna make sure that all these are not frayed. After everything is dry, then I'll put it back together and, I'll re-inspect it again. But I'm gonna let this air dry on the rack, not in direct sunlight.
Okay.
Do not submerge the regulator, just make sure you take it and clean everything. Missing, oh, yeah. I'll take, take water and mild detergent, wash this, and then I'll hang it up to dry is what I normally do. And then once it's dry, re-inspect it before I put it up in my SCBA box.
first, fully disassemble the SCBA. Releasing the bottom, popping it out. So for the bottle, we would rinse everything off first, and then we use a mild detergent that meets manufacturer's guidelines, and wash and rinse fully off any debris that's on it, and verify that it's clean. On the pack, for these packs, we would take the battery out, anything else that's internal is contained, but, or this one we can put on. We go through all of the straps, rinse it off first, and then use mild detergent, meets manufacturer's guidelines. We'll go all the way around, cleaning the pack itself, debris, anything but the brush, and so on. Verifying both sides, and keeping it out. As we get to the hose line, we'll make sure the regulator stays out of the water, and then clean the full hose line all the way up and down. Use mild detergent, keep it clean, and then it can be hung up to dry or put back in service, depending what's needed. So tank, pack, and then mask. Mask, same thing. Debris, get everything off of it first. Fully disassemble, taking it apart. Rinse it first, and then you use a mild detergent that meets manufacturer's standards. Wipe it all down, and then use a disinfectant along with the mask portion of it, even if it's not shared. You still want to make sure it's clean for you. And then you can use anti-fogging on the inside and outside to keep it from fogging up. And then the options are either to use a lint-free cloth to dry it off, or just air hang and let it air dry, which is typically what I do. And then that meets all the standards. Yep.
You can bring everybody in.
Okay.
Alright, what do you guys think?
Good.
You got everybody good? Last thing we have here is a course survey. Be honest, not gonna hurt my feelings. All it's gonna do is make me a better instructor, make this course a little better. Alrighty? guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that concludes this session.